Hi, welcome to Christine's Corner. Thank you for coming and tuning back to my show. We have Peter Peluso. He came back on my show. Excellent accordion player. Thank you, Pete, for coming back.
It's always great to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
They're good here.
Yeah,
Very
they are.
good. Yes. So you usually have someone that you talk to us about.
Yep.
Who is it going to be this week?
This is actually not one person. It's going to be several people.
Okay.
But it's about jazz and how the accordion was used in jazz. It still is, for that matter. But and I'm going to highlight some of the really outstanding jazz players, particularly in the golden age of jazz back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, and into the 1960s.
Oh, I didn't know what jazz went back that far.
Yeah, it went, and actually I'm going to start with actually ragtime, because if you went to, because ragtime and later boogie woogie were also a big part of early jazz. And accordion players on the vaudeville circuits played ragtime and boogie woogie, and that's what these first two numbers are going to be. This one's entitled "The Chatterbox Rag," and I don't know if this was ever played by an accordionist, but this will give you a sample of what we did.
Sure. Yeah. Very good. I like that.
Yeah,
I can hear the jazz.
Very typical ragtime writing at that time, and probably the type of thing that accordionists probably played on the stage, because we have no really record of that, because there's so many circuits.
So long.
And This, of course, that involved into boogie woogie, and this was written by Clarence Pinetop Smith. It's entitled "The Original Boogie Woogie," but I don't know if it's really the original.
Was it the something sisters? I forgot that did the boogie woogie.
Yeah.
I couldn't even repeat it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
Okay.
Or that's what he called it.
That's
anyway.
what he called it. Okay.
Here we go. The Original Boogie Woogie by. Okay.
Wow. It definitely gets you in the mood for dancing and swinging. Yeah.
I know, there's nothing, boogie was just such a great.
It's hopping, yeah.
So what I'm going to start with, probably one of the most greatest jazz player accordionists, his name, but a fellow by the name of Art Van Dam. He lived from 1920 to 2010, so he's not too long ago.
Yeah.
He passed away. He was born in Norway, but he raised in Chicago. And a lot of his, I'm going to play arrangement, which is fairly typical. Usually in jazz, in modern jazz as it evolved, they would play the main melody once through, then they do take choruses and improvise on that melody, and then come back and play the melody once again and then end it. Oh. And he kind of followed that format, and you'll hear that in a lot of the playing, a lot of what I'm going to do today. And so in this particular case, and it usually was based on whatever was popular at the time. In this particular case, it's a show tune called Blue Moon. Oh. You probably remember because the 50s arrangement, the doo-wop arrangement. Yep. But originally, and this is his arrangement of Blue Moon.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
It's great stuff. Of course, probably when he played it, that whole middle section was probably totally improvised and made up on the spot.
Oh.
But for publishing purposes, you have to write
have
it
something,
out. You have to write
yeah.
something out. So, yeah. The next gentleman, unfortunately, these are all men. I don't know if they were women
Probably,
jazz accordionists,
okay.
but Frank Morocco. He lived from 1931 to 2012, fairly recently.
Yeah.
All these guys are right around in that golden age of jazz and the golden age of accordion. And so he was an arranger. He and did a lot of jazz arrangements, and both for the instrument and for accordion orchestra too. There's a few things. Yeah,
very talented.
As well as a composer. All these guys, you can see they have videos on YouTube.
Oh,
they didn't make them. It was just they have somebody
Somebody
put in the
put 'em
film,
on.
and then people are discovering them and putting them out there.
Wow.
So
maybe we'll have more accordion players now.
yeah. It's just for some reason somebody digs that out of the archives and puts it out there. This is a piece called Take 10. I think it's if you're familiar with Dave Brubeck's Take 5. Which means basically we're talking there's 5 beats in the measure. Usually there's 4 beats. Most of the time in jazz we have 4 beats in the measure.
Yeah.
Now he's put 5 beats in the measure.
Wow.
So it's a little
faster.
Yeah. And of course he couldn't call it Take 5. This is written in his style. I mean, if you know that, you'll recognize some of the same rhythms and stuff. So this is called Take 10 by Frank Morocco.
Beautiful arrangement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great. Yeah. It's really. It's wonderful. He did some writing. This is a set of like 5 or 6 pieces that he composed original. It's not based upon like a popular song or anything like that. So, all right. So, on to Tony Dannon. Tony Dan was another great jazz accordionist. He lived born in 1924, passed away in 2011. He was born in Italy. Of course, this was the time of the great migrations coming from Europe.
Yeah.
But he grew up in Detroit. Again, a composer, an arranger. You can see his videos on YouTube.
Did a lot of accordion players from Italy or Italian?
Yeah, it's actually.
I don't know why we think it was Polish, but
yeah, it's. I hate to say one dominated because I think that what it was. The Polish players tended to be more into the ethnic and the Polish and the Polish music, and so they didn't go into the jazz. It was the Italians seemed to be picking up.
Okay.
I mean, even though it's Tony Dan and I forget he changed his name. He's Italian.
Italian.
So,
Okay.
Oh yeah, and here's an example. He remember the song "Feelings."
Oh yes. Feelings.
Okay, this is his arrangement of it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's even more beautiful than the song, someone singing
And
Feelings.
what he did with it.
The extra music notes in there.
Him in
just
particular, he likes these big fistfuls, 5 fingers,
Wow.
and then sometimes you wish you had a 6th finger,
Yeah.
to do, but he has these big block chords.
Wow.
But no, great
Yeah,
stuff. And of
beautiful.
course, all these guys have recorded, and lots of times they even did gigs together. Yeah, I think there's a couple of YouTubes. You see, I think Tony Dannon and Frank Morocco were playing together.
Wow.
So it's a kind of a small community, and they all knew each other, and it's great. This one I saved for last, Anthony Mecca. And the reason I saved him for last is because he's from Waterbury, Connecticut.
Oh.
And he made it really big in the jazz accordion field. He was, and again, like all those, like everybody else, he was a composer and arranger. But he was also a teacher. And he taught here in, I think he had big, I'm sure he taught in Waterbury, but Westchester County, he had a big accordion school. One of his claims to fame, he was only 18, him and his brother Dominic. Charlie Mignotti arranged for a concert in Carnegie Hall back in, I think, in 1937 or 36, 37, in there someplace.
Carnegie Hall.
It was a big accordion concert in the big hall, sold out, the whole 9 yards. Had a lot of, and apparently he was like 18 at the time, and he was asked to play. Him and his brother Dominic, and I guess they did an arrangement for 2 accordions of Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. I guess it brought the house down.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's something for his age, too.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he's from Connecticut,
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's, people around here, especially from the Waterbury area, will talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is one of his original compositions. This is Chili Billy.
Chili Billy?
Yeah, but chili in the sense that's chili like the food.
Oh, okay.
And at least that's the way it's spelled.
Okay.
So anyway, this is original by Anthony Mecca. It's called Chili Billy.
Very nice.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's just great stuff.
Yeah.
And again, that was from a set of several pieces that that were published. All these guys were published, by the way. These are not by the major by some of the major music publishing companies. So they wasn't how can I say, it wasn't like today. It's what do you call it? Vanity publishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they were out there with under the auspices of big publishers. Of course, most of the stuff is out of print now, but unfortunately, so you have to find it here and there. So, yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
definitely great music they played and
Oh yeah.
put together.
And we don't. Lots of times when you think of jazz, you don't think of the accordion. But
No.
you don't. But they were out. These are only four of the of some of the really wonderful jazz players that were out there, and they still are out there for that matter.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Although today we have Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, that's right.
Because the movie is coming out,
Yeah.
pretty soon. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. So I don't know. We got time left here. Or?
Yes. Please
So,
play more.
all right. What I'm going to do then? Actually, this is written by an accordionist.
Oh.
Orange
okay.
Colored Sky. Most people, is Nat King Cole sang it, and then it was made famous again, redone by his daughter in
Yep.
a later recording. But what I'm going to do here is that this time I'm going to attempt actually improvise. I'm going to play it once through, and then I'm going to improvise for a little bit. So we'll
Okay.
because get a real taste of what jazz is supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay. Orange Colored Sky by Milton DeLugg was his name. He was on. He was a band leader on a couple of TV shows.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Perfect. I
hope
just
so.
loved it. Yes, absolutely.
Just trying to making things up as we go along there, which is what the whole thing of jazz is.
Yeah, it ran smoothly.
Thanks.
So thank you again for coming.
You're welcome.
Pete.
It's always great. It's always good to be here, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then the guys are wonderful. And the tech crew is good. Everybody's just so
Yeah,
good
the
here.
crew, they're fantastic. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
great. Okay.
I'm glad they make you feel at home.
Yeah.
And thank you for tuning in to Christine's Corner. I'll see you again next week. Love you.
The Saybrook Fish House in Canton has been serving fresh seafood, chicken, and steak entrees for 34 years, offering 3 cozy dining room settings, a newly renovated pub with craft beer, wine by the glass, specialty cocktails, and a lighter fare menu. Open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Reservations accepted for parties of 2 to 42, and gift certificates are also available. The Saybrook Fish House, nestled at the crossroads of Route 44, 202, and 179 in Canton.